Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, when I make videos like this, I usually enjoy reading the tweets to you guys. But in this particular situation, I have no interest. It's a waste of time because Gervonta, he's not saying anything. He's talking to Shakur Stevenson, but he is literally saying everything about Shakur Stevenson. He's saying a whole lot of stuff, and he's saying everything but let's fight. Literally, he did not mention fighting Shakur Stevenson, and this is the fight that everyone wants to see. All Gervonta is doing is repeating old race fan talking points, calling Shakur boring. Nobody wants to watch him fight. While Shakur, on the other hand, he's constantly saying to Gervonta, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight. Forget all the talking. Let's go ahead and make it happen. Shakur, he even asked Gervonta, what happened to that 6-7 fight deal you was talking about? You know, this is what gets me when it comes to Gervonta. Gervonta, he has so much animosity against other Black American boxers. In this post, this little exchange they had back and forth, Gervonta, he acknowledges that Shakur is up right now, meaning Shakur's stock has went up. A lot of fans and even old media, they're praising him for his dominant performance he had over William Zepeda, and the fact that Crawford just dominated Canelo Alvarez. That's got a lot of fans now thinking that Shakur Stevenson, he's going to be up next when it comes to another top pound for pound king. Now, here's what doesn't make sense when it comes to Gervonta, or one of the many things that doesn't make sense when it comes to Gervonta. He will go out of his way to praise Naoya Inoue, knowing that old media, they love Naoya Inoue. They have him pound for pound number 2. You know, they have been disrespecting Crawford before Crawford beat Canelo, having him above Terrence Crawford, right? And Gervonta will go out of his way to praise Inoue. Matter of fact, I remember before Naoya Inoue, I think it was when he fought the Butler guy, Gervonta out of nowhere, he sent him a direct tweet and said, good luck, champion, on your next fight. And Naoya Inoue didn't even reply back. And like I told you guys, Gervonta, he wanted Canelo to walk him to the ring, and he wanted to wear Canelo Alvarez's gloves. And Canelo, he shot him down, refusing to walk to the ring with Gervonta. So Gervonta is going out of his way to show all of this love to Canelo Alvarez, Naoya Inoue, but the love is not being reciprocated. And I'm telling y'all, man, this is the 20% of Black people that I was telling you guys about in my Jake Paul Gervonta video. If you guys missed that video and you're really into learning new things, you really need to check it out. It's a great video. It's just so crazy how the best boxers in the sport since the inception have been Black Americans, and Gervonta has nothing positive to say about his fellow Black Americans. No congratulations post to Terrence Crawford, but a good luck post to Naoya Inoue. I want to share a clip with you guys of Floyd Mayweather, him having to talk Gervonta out of wanting to wear Canelo Alvarez's gloves, right? This is when Gervonta was going to fight against Isaac Pitbull Cruz, I believe. He wanted to wear these Canelo gloves. So Floyd is telling Gervonta, man, why you want to wear Canelo Alvarez's gloves when Canelo is rooting against you? Canelo is rooting for Cruz.
Speaking of Canelo, he's showing a lot of support for Isaac Cruz. What do you think about that?
Yeah, what I don't like is this, and I want to talk to Tank about this. You can't be wearing Canelo gloves and he's rooting against you. You know, I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do it. And then it's not like, I mean, some gloves, we can wear 1,000 different gloves. The results, it's always going to be the same, but I can't wear your gloves and you root against me.
So clearly, Gervonta, he caters to the boxers that the race fans praise. He knows that the race fans, they can't stand the Black fighters, so Gervonta is going to second their emotions. He's going to defer to the race fans by all means. But see, here's where it gets tricky for Tank. Because what Tank doesn't realize is those same race fans that can't stand Shakur Stevenson, they don't like Gervonta either because he shares the same melanin. That's why Gervonta, he's saying, you know, all the fans, they turn on me. There's no loyalty in the sport. But years before the Roach fight, Gervonta, he went on his Twitter account and he called himself the most hated fighter in the sport. Why? Because he was receiving just as much hate as Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson and Floyd Mayweather and Terrence Crawford were receiving. He found out that he was on the coincidental list. Because the hate by the race fans, it has never had anything to do with how much of an exciting fighter you are, how many knockouts you get. Terrence Crawford was knocking out everybody before he moved up to 154, and they still felt the same way about Crawford that they felt about Shakur Stevenson. Gervonta was actually hated more than Shakur Stevenson by these race fans. You know why? Because Gervonta was knocking out Mexicans. And I'm telling you right now, there is nothing a Mexican hates more than to see a black fighter knock out a Mexican fighter. Matter of fact, in one of my recent videos, I played a clip for you guys. It was a Mexican guy talking after the Terrence Crawford Canelo Alvarez fight. And that Mexican fan, he was honest as hell because he gave Crawford his props, but at the same time, he thanked Terrence Crawford for not knocking out his Mexican idol Canelo Alvarez. He said because if Crawford really wanted to, if he would have kept standing there trading with Canelo Alvarez, he would have most likely stopped him. Now, the one Mexican friend that I do have that is completely anti-racist, by the way, because first of all, the only way you can be someone that I would consider my friend is if you are anti-racist. Now, you can't just be somebody saying, hey, man, I'm not a racist. You know, my in-laws, I got black in-laws or some crazy shit like that. Or I'm not a racist. I got a black wife. I got a black girlfriend. Nah, that ain't gonna cut it. You have to be anti-racist. You have to be completely against it and what it stands for. And that goes to them furry ass raccoons as well. So anyway, my Mexican friend, he's always telling me how racist his family is, his friends are, his co-workers. And I remember after Gervonta knocked out Ryan Garcia, he told me he went to work. You know, they talking about the fight in the break room with all his Mexican co-workers. And he told them, I told you Gervonta was going to win. That pissed them off something awful. So then they just start calling him an N-word lover and calling Gervonta the N-word. So he's trying to talk boxing with them and they just calling Gervonta the N-word. And he says to them, oh, so you just being racist. This is not even about boxing. And of course they don't want to call themselves racist because once again, racist people, they want to be racist without that title. Because these type of Mexicans, they feel like, man, if you don't like black people, that shouldn't be considered racist. I mean, that's just normal, right? Especially for our race. It should be considered racist if people don't like us, right? If people trying to kick us out the country, if they want to deport us just because of how we look. Now that should be considered racist, but not liking black people? Come on, we were brought up that way. I mean, that's part of our DNA. That shouldn't be considered racist. I mean, that's something we can't even control. It's out of our control. We're pre-genetically disposed to hate black people. Oh, but love the culture. That's the way they look at it. And once again, these are only the Mexican men, not the Mexican women, because the Mexican women love us. So anyway, like I said, these Mexicans, they're at my friend's job, calling Gervonta all kind of N-words, all kind of other racist stuff. And they're only saying this, why? Because he knocked out a Mexican fighter. So the point is, they don't care how much Gervonta praises Canelo Alvarez, how much he praises other Mexican fighters, how much he praises Naoya Inoue. They don't care if he uses all of their race fan talking points. The only thing they care about is his complexion. And this is something you other raccoons on the internet should learn from. No matter how much you defer to these racists, that's what they think about you. Because it's never been about knockouts, getting knockouts and not getting knockouts, them calling you boring or them not calling you boring. It's never been about talking points. It has always been about your complexion. You guys remember this clip right here? I don't remember which fight it was. It might have been a Canelo fight, but it was a Mexican person fighting because the crowd was all Mexican. And soon as the camera showed him on the screen, the entire Mexican crowd, they booed him, just like they always do with Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Now, there's also been another interesting development. After that exchange that Gervonta had with Shakur Stevenson, he deactivated his Twitter account, which most likely means he was receiving an enormous amount of backlash when it comes to everything he said to Shakur Stevenson. Because once again, everyone wants to see this fight, and yet Gervonta, he's saying everything to Shakur Stevenson, but let's fight. How about we set this up and we fight after my Jake Paul fight? How about we set this up after my rematch with Roach? Let's go ahead and set it up right now. Once again, he's trying to use these race fan talking points to diss another black fighter, but the problem is Gervonta is black as well. Meaning, if Gervonta is sitting over here fighting Jake Paul and he's not fighting against Shakur Stevenson, that just gives race fans even more ammunition to diss Gervonta. Once again, they're not going to sit over here and say, oh, no, Gervonta is cool. He's with us because, he uses our talking points when it comes to Canelo and dissing other black boxers. No, at the end of the day, they are going to see you as what you are, a black man. And there is nothing on the internet that you can say that will make them forget that. So listen, I'm going to wrap this video up by saying, for now, as far as I'm concerned, Gervonta Tank Davis is retired. And maybe this is just a temporary retirement, where he's going on his hiatus. But for now, he's retired because he's not fighting anyone in his weight class. This is an exhibition fight, and we don't know if he's going to return back to the ring after this fight. A lot of reporters were asking him, is he going to retire? He doesn't want to answer it. So for now, he's retired. But keep in mind, Lamont Roach, he's talking about arbitration because he claims that Tank Davis, he already signed the contract for the rematch with Lamont Roach. So that means that he's obligated to take that rematch. So we'll see what happens after the Jake Paul fight. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
There's a lot of shit going around saying that Crawford ran the whole fight. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of shit going around saying that Crawford ran the whole fight. It's about time we stop bullshitting and give a fighter credit when credit is due. Fucking Crawford not once ran. Look at that right there. Boom. Right there. Toe-to-toe, baby. Toe-to-toe. Each punch thrown is a punch landed. Fuck out of here. Last thing to be said. I honestly think, and I'm glad Crawford didn't sit there and bang with Canelo. Because I really do feel like Crawford would have made his knees wobble or would have probably knocked that motherfucker out. To be honest. So, hey, let's thank the Lord on that one. Crawford, I thank you so much for not sitting toe-to-toe with my Mexican legend. Thank you guys, and please give a fighter their flowers, man. They go in there and fight for their lives. You got to give them the credit.
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Decay Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodecay.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.